welcome to another Europreneur Podcast on YouTube, as I like to mention sometimes. I'm your host, Nir Zavaro, and as always, we meet some of the most interesting entrepreneurs in Europe, all of them members of the Entrepreneurs Organization. And this week, my guest has become quite a good friend. We spent a lot of time working together on the regional council, coming up with ideas, but mainly having fun. And the reason why I wanted him to be here is to talk about some stuff that most people haven't thought of when it comes to management. Hello, Haluk. How are you?
Good, Nick. It's always great to be with you. Thanks. How are you?
I'm very good. We just spent a couple of crazy days together at an EO event in
Yeah,
Santorini. You you
yeah,
you recuperated. You're fine.
yeah. I'm very fine. I'm very fine. I have several trips after that, but I'm completely okay now. Very good.
So, for those of you who don't know, Haluk serves on the Regional Council of EO, and now he's an area director. He travels between the chapters, helps them with strategy. But let's give them a small glimpse of who you are and what you do. I'll ask you to do a small elevator pitch for us. Start with your name, where you're from, your business, what do you do, and let's take it from there. You ready?
All right. Yep. I'm ready. So my
Go.
name is Haluk. I'm from Istanbul, chapter EO Turkey. I born in Turkey. I lived in Turkey, and I'm a chemical engineer. I have a daughter, 12 years old. I have several businesses. The first one I started is a chemical business, and we have a machinery company. We produce machineries, and the last one is software. We are producing a B2B software. I am 43 years old. I've been in EO last 5 years, and I was the president for EO Turkey, and then I became a area director in Europe. Yeah, this is basically what I do. I love sailing, kite surfing,
You have a boat.
mountain. Yeah, I do have a boat. Yeah, I also have a boat. Yeah,
Is
and
that a
I just love
Turkish
it.
thing to love boats? Is that a Turkish thing?
I'm not sure if it's a Turkish thing, but it's become very famous. Every year, I found that more people are into it. But I just always love to do something with water and the wind. So, it's kind of a great way to relax, and it's like I find myself there without any engine. It's just the wind, the water, and just flow. So I love it. I love to be in the journey.
I have a very strange question, so I apologize about
Yeah.
it, but I have to ask you something. You look more like a nightclub owner, and you went to study, and you became a chemical engineer. What's your journey? Like, why did you go study this and not own clubs in Turkey?
How do you know that I don't own clubs?
You didn't mention that when I asked you to
No,
tell you
no, no,
about your
no, no, no.
businesses.
I'm just kidding. No, actually, I don't know. I mean, you never understand someone from looking, I guess. Yeah, in Turkey, actually, I wasn't really chosen to be a chemical engineer because in Turkey, you do an exam at the end of the high school, and you choose. It's changed a little bit now, but you were choosing 17 different universities or the different engineerings. So I was choosing all of them, and at the end of the exam, you match with one of them. And chemical engineering was one of them, actually. There was textile engineering, industrial engineering, and several more. But I'm very happy to be a chemical engineer because it's so widely be every industry. So I could, move in different industries. In my current business, we serve to agriculture, cosmetics, textile, electronics, like a lot of different industries that I could get connected.
What
So
do you what does it actually for those who don't know what a chemical engineer like? What do you guys do? If you give a short example.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, in the most of the industries, there is something to do with chemistry. Like whatever you produce, not most of all of them actually. In every kind of production, you kind of use chemistry. So chemical engineers are usually related with the chemicals that being used in that process, and plus the chemicals production itself. So it's not a it's a, there's a big difference between being a chemist and a chemical engineer, because as chemical engineer you don't really deal with the directly into the polymers or synthesis of polymers. You are mostly on the production side or on the industries who are using chemistry
You
or
finish
chemicals.
you finish your studies and then what? You go work for a
Yeah,
company?
okay.
How did you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah, yeah.
experience?
I finished the school and then I worked for a enterprise, a big company for 1 year, but it wasn't for me at all. So I then changed my job to work in a smaller company. It was a kind of a startup at that time. And I had an amazing time in that company, 9 years more or less. I was able to be a part of the very few people who grew the company. So I learned a lot during that experiences, but it wasn't enough for me. I was always looking for, something more challenging, something, that I can really put my own values, effort, and freedom. So I built my own company in 2010, so 12 years ago. And it was kind of great because I became partner with my ex boss. So when I was talking to him about my new intention, he said, okay, let's do it together. So more or less 5, 6 years we were together. And then I bought him out. So I bought all the shares in the company. And it's been 12 years. It was a great journey. But today, I'm completely not doing anything as a chemical engineer because during this time I fell in love in organizational models that maybe we'll talk today. So I kind of became more like an entrepreneur, more like a business strategy maker and organizational model creator. Let's put it that way. So I'm not doing anything technically right now.
Wait, that's so here's a question before I have to go back. You go to your boss and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about leaving and starting something of my own." And he says,
Yeah.
"Why not? I'll support it."
Yeah, yeah, that's why probably I do so much believe in the self management because I believe when you meet with good people, you support each other and you get benefit out of it. So yes, he did that, and it was great to have him because we could get very easy money from the banks because of his signature was there. So we did a very strong start. But at the end, he had his share out, so it was like a win-win situation. But again, yes, when you are with good people, if someone has some kind of an intention, you just let him go, let her go, and you get the benefit for both sides. It is the same for my company right now. If someone comes to me and says that they want to do their business, I would love to support them. And even in the first interview that I do with anyone to my company, I said, if you have any entrepreneurship in you, that's what I want. So I don't, fully support the entrepreneurs if they have that intention.
Question: young entrepreneurs will listen to this. What is your suggestion or a good tip when you want to leave and start your own thing, but you are on good terms with your bosses?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
a good tip for doing that?
Actually, I don't think there is one tip. What I would just say is if you have that passion and if you are willing to give that effort, because it's kind of not easy, just do it. Because it's the journey, it's not the result. So for the young entrepreneurs, if they are targeting for money, if they're targeting for anything at the end, they may not enjoy the journey. They will miss a lot. It's just like sailing, you were asking to me. It's like using a motorboat. In the motorboat, you just want to go where you want to go. And you don't really, not usually enjoy the journey. Sailing is great because the moment you are on the boat, the enjoy starts. So it doesn't matter where you are going, but the journey itself is great. So I think entrepreneurship is that way. Any young entrepreneurs, just if you have that passion, if you are willing to do that, just do it. It doesn't matter if you fail. It doesn't matter if you are not reaching what you are willing to, because it is a journey, and if you learn from it, for sure you will grow. It again, you will make something else. You do some other thing. It doesn't matter, but you'll grow. You'll be happy. But if we are targeting a number, a money, or something, reaching to that, if you are not enjoying, then that's wrong. That's definitely.
What I'm hearing is it's interesting because keeping a good relationship helped you start a business with kind of like money because he could help you get the loans that you needed.
Yes.
And so somehow getting your own mentor, and after 6 years, finding the right way to say thank you, goodbye, and split.
Yes,
I
yes. I
wouldn't
mean,
say that's normal.
yes, it's not normal, but again, I mean, if your approach is not the money, if your approach is the journey, I think that is the case you will get, not the normal, because he knew that my intention, even at that time, was not to make more money. Because, by the way, I was having a good amount of money because of that the position I have, the bonuses I am getting. So it wasn't about the money. So like in you, when you have that passion of creating something and doing something, I believe you'll get that kind of responses. But it doesn't matter if you don't get response. For example, if your boss says, no, I'm not supporting you, how the hell you are doing it, don't do that, it just doesn't matter. You just go on.
Most people have a reason for, if you're making good money, why do you need this headache of leaving, starting a business, taking loans, entrepreneurship, and all that? Like people love to use the entrepreneurship word, but basically, why? What was the urge?
Very simple. Yeah, what is this? Very simple. I believe we all miss the point that why we are here, why we exist, why we are in this earth, and what we are doing during the 70, 80, 90 years, hopefully 100 years of time. There should be a purpose that you need to, find a better version of yourself. You need to grow. You need to, create things. And definitely, money might be the fuel of it, but just the fuel, nothing else. It won't get you anywhere. So think about a fuel. You cannot drink it. You cannot, I don't know, you cannot enjoy it. You just put into your car for to reach to some place. So money is that. So even if you have a good money, it means if you have a good fuel, if your car is not moving the direction that you want, or if you are not even moving, it doesn't matter how much fuel you have. Think about it, you are in the car, sitting, not moving anywhere, but the fuel is great. You have a lot of amount of fuel. What are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna drink it? No. So you gotta understand where you are heading, where you are moving. So where your car you want to move, then
But
you
what
need fuel.
what made you head to entrepreneurship? If you were doing good,
Oh,
what's the moment where
yeah,
you say, you know what, if this, I'm out. I want to do something on my
yeah.
own.
Yeah, because it was the moment that I, I I had my own style and I had my own belief, which I am a big risk taker. I would love to do very bold things. And with my ex-boss, he was great, but he's kind of a person that he takes the things, slowly. He moves the things slowly. He won't go that bold. He just, on the very safe side. So there were some stuff that I wanted to move faster that I wasn't be able to fast. And I said, I guess I need to have my own freedom to be bold and to reach my own dreams, purposes, and to find myself. So that was the thing. I wasn't, unhappy. I didn't have any boss over me because he wasn't acting like a boss. So I was like at the top of the organization. But still, the decisions that I wanted to take, the risk that I wanted to have or to take was I cannot do that. So it was the moment that I said, okay, I'm going to do something else. Well, plus, by the way, even if that was still there, I always love to challenge myself to reach somewhere else. So after Latro, again, I had enough financial capability. I had enough money. I was at the top of my own organization, and everything was doing great. But I have transformed my company 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, completely into self-management, which I didn't have any headache before. But I said, no, I want to bring this game in a new level. So it's
So
kind of a passion that yeah.
you're talking a lot about different types of management. What I'm hearing is, if you're a risk taker and you want to do your own thing, it's interesting because then you moved to a business which is complicated in itself, I assume, right? Just in terms of building a business around chemical stuff, I assume managing revenue is not a simple cash flow. I assume is not a simple operation in your business
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. And then, how many people do you have today?
70, around 70,
Seven.
75.
And
Yeah,
then
I started alone. Yeah,
you started alone.
yeah. And with one lady, she is still with me. So we were two, and yeah, today we are 70. Plus, we have two. I have two other companies, three.
In this company, what made you start as you're scaling, you started to think
Yeah,
about different ways of management?
yeah, yeah. Again, what's happening is, by the way, EO is an amazing place because most of the things that really gave me courage to do this is coming from EO. All these, events that I've been, the people that I have shared my ideas, was changed my life big time. So during this growth, during the scaling in Latro, we were growing, but at the same time, we were losing the power of being agile. We were losing the power of moving together. We were needing to hierarchy, which I never believed. We needed the titles, positions, hierarchical management, which I never believed. So I was always searching for an alternative way how to run a company without this bureaucracy, without this unhappy people. How to do that? So during my search, again because of EO, I had questioned this in Harvard. That when I was there, I questioned that with my friends, and one of EO friend in Turkey, he is running the largest agile consulting company. He's the owner of that agile company, and I was talking with him, and he gave me a book, the book called Reinventing Organizations, Frederick Laloux. That has changed my life. Within that book, I have seen it's possible to run a company self-managed with the teams. So I told them, I finished the book, I underlined every single sentence. It took 6 months for me to finish that book, like really deeply. And I said, I'm ready, let's do it. So thanks to him, he came with another friend, and three of us, we spent hours and hours, days and days, nights and nights. And in about 1 year, we transformed a company in completely to self-management. Means, what is self-management? The company runs itself. There are teams, and the teams have power of any operational decision or strategical decision. So they can do anything that I can do. So I didn't empower anyone. I didn't create a C-level management. I killed the power. I fired myself. So I do this public speech. Why did I fire the boss, which was me? I fired myself, and during that time, it wasn't easy. It was quite difficult because in Turkish culture, it's very hierarchical culture, and it wasn't very easy to understand by the people. But when we managed to come to a point that it's working, today it's kind of like a magic. It's really it's growing a lot faster and a lot better direction.
What what
So
is
we
growing?
yeah.
What is growing a lot faster?
In a year, we double up the turnover. It's double, and the net profit is almost tripled because the when you take out all this bureaucracy and all this internal frictions between people, the people become fully present with their full effort in the company. Means it's a very creative and innovative company now. So they create amazing projects that really I'm so surprised. Is that really happening in my company? Is that really happening in my company? It's like I keep being surprised by what's going on in the company because we just unleash the potential of people. In hierarchical organizations, they are missing the point that there is big internal friction and all this bureaucracy and political moves is so their people are probably working with 20% of their really internal potential, and they don't even realize they have that potential. So when we had this change, a lot of people in the company, they even realize what they could do because they never thought about it. So it's kind of it's just now I am looking from today's perspective. I cannot understand how the company still continues on being so hierarchical because it's kind of they're killing themselves. And now there are a lot of examples in the world. The startups are killing everyone else. Like there is this car company, Tesla, just killed any other company. Why? It was a startup and it's so agile. It's so agile, it's so moving fast. So what we do is simply divide the company into startups, into micro enterprises. So each team is like a startup. They can make any kind of a decision themselves in their own pattern. So that's like a
How does
spirit of
that
it.
how does that create or their own KPIs? How are they not connected to the others? This one moves very fast and this one moves a bit slower. Then what do you do?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, again, I'm going to throw out all those radical things, and you might be surprised. We don't have any KPIs. We don't have any OKRs. We don't have any budget. We don't have any sales target. So we were as people, we think you need to set all these things to make sure your people, works, or your people really performs. But isn't it wrong? As being an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur here. Did you have any KPI when you start your business? Or do you have right now any KPI, any OKR, any sales target for your own self? No. What you do is, as being an entrepreneur, you check the numbers, you see how the company goes, and you make decisions accordingly, just like driving a car. In driving a car, you have a dashboard in front of you, but the dashboard doesn't tell you you need to go at this speed or the fuel needs to be at this level. It just shows you how it is, and you make your own decision. So the people are very autonomous creatures. So why we keep giving them this kind of limits? What we do in our company is we created this dashboard, means very transparent numbers. They are able to see what a boss can see. So what I was able to see, this data of all the information, profits, margin, customers, anything they can see. So when they can see, they know what to do. You don't need to set a target because their inner uh, self tells them to do better. And if you give it a bunch of people, not one person, even though some of them don't have that entrepreneurship, the spirits, it doesn't matter. The others will take it to that direction. So what you do is you just create a culture, means purpose, values, and principles. So we spend a lot of time together with everyone to create our own purpose with values and what our principles are. So when you set this tree, the people know where to go, what is the values and what is the principles, and they act accordingly with the dashboard they see. And it's amazing. Just before this system, every year we had budget, we had sales targets. I was thinking that I am a great salesperson, so I can manage greatly with the sales teams. So I give them amazing, difficult sales targets. And I was always proud of myself that my company was growing. And my company was growing 10%, 20%, let's say 30%. We took out everything. And what happens? It grew 100% in turnover and 300% in profits.
I think it's interesting when you look at not measuring, hence measuring in a very interesting way. I do a lot of brands and I work with some of the biggest brands. When we look at what really is branding, and it's not your logo, but it's a way of being, same as a character in a book. And as you know, my upcoming book is coming soon, and then I'm starting to work on
Yeah,
the next book,
yeah,
which will be how to create brands that sit next to you in the meeting and how to help them make that decision. And hearing you talk about values and purpose, um, I think these three definitely clarify what a lot of people are lacking, and then how do we define them into what is a brand? How does that brand speak, make decisions, and so on, which is interesting to hear. What do you do when things are not moving in an agile way or teams collide with what they want to achieve?
I
Who
mean, I don't
steps
need to
in
do
to help?
anything. Yeah, yeah. What happens is I don't need to do anything because when you distribute the power to everyone, what happens is if something goes wrong, one of them speaks up. Because then you have, like I always say, in Latro, there is no boss. If someone new comes, we tell them in Latro there is no boss, but everybody is boss. So the good thing is there is no boss, but a very difficult thing is everybody is boss. So you have to, show yourself to everyone. Means if there is any lack of performance, if there is any lack of, being moving on towards to your goal, your purpose, there are other people who warns you because they all connected to the same organization and they are benefiting from the same organization. We share our profit every quarter with everyone. So if something is wrong, they are acting a lot faster than and more ruder than me. Actually, I was a nice guy. Now they are being more rude to each other because they say, "Hey, sorry, this is our organization, and I'm a part of it, and we have a goal. This is the purpose. This is our principles. You gotta act that way." And it's a lot stronger because then you have individuals who have this big power in themselves that they can tell anything to anybody. So imagine that you are coming to a company, you know who's your boss, so you play to him. You play yourself, you act to him. But you come to a company and everybody is boss. Everybody can say anything. You cannot act. You gotta do the thing. You gotta be on action. You gotta show yourself with your results because there is no one to play. You gotta survive there with your actions, with your being. You cannot survive there to play someone.
I allow my team to say they don't want a client. So if a new client comes in, if they're going to handle them. If they have a good reason, of course, to why we shouldn't take them, it's on them. I remember we had a client that was very difficult a couple of years ago, and I told one of the account manager, listen, anytime, any moment, in a meeting, on the call, whatever you want, you can say hi, listen, I thought about it, we're done. Here's the 30-day notice. And she said, thank you. And she never did it. And when I would ask her, you want to drop them? I said, listen, it's my issue. If I get sick of it, trust me, I'll let you know. And she kept on going. And she did it. And it was really good. And I think it was a very good example of her making a decision. She was handling the client. She was talking to them and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great power. Yes, that's a very great example. I mean, the decision is a very good word. When we make centralized decisions, usually they are good for control, but not for growth. And for sure, in today's condition, in the speed of change in the world that we all talk, centralized decisions are killing companies. Decentralized companies are moving so fast. That's why, yes, very simple, why we don't trust people, why we don't let them do the things, why we don't let them make mistakes. Because for sure in Latrobe, there are thousands of mistakes being done every day. Some of them are big, but okay, that's okay. If they learn from their mistakes, as long as they learn, it's okay. Because me and you, as being an entrepreneur, I always say this thing. If you tell me to write a book with my success, I write this thick book. It's going to be a lot of success in it because I got a lot of success. Then if you ask me, could you also write a book about your fails, your fucked ups? I'll write this thick of book and three of them, not one of them. So how come we're not letting our people to make mistakes? I mean, we didn't born that way. And it's a lot better for them to learn from it. That's why you just give the decision power. The important thing here is not to the one person, because if you give to one person, then again, instead of you, it's someone else. It's not better or, it's not growing. If you give a group of people, I love this saying, the crowd intelligence, the intelligence of collective is so big. Like when you sum 10 people minds together to make a decision, it becomes so strong. So my new software, it's a new investment, that new baby, it's a new company. It is about a decision-making tool for companies, because we understood decision-making is a big issue in all companies right now. So we build this new, it's an MVP period, but we build this new B2B SaaS product, which will help companies to collectively decide and act. That is the point. We
Does
gotta
it need
you go
does it need a
collectively.
certain amount of people, because it needs crowdsourcing needs a certain amount of people to make a.
Uh, Yes, let's say, I mean, in order to get the benefit of this application, you need to have like minimum 10 people, so that it means something that you make decision together. Because right now in Latro, during this transformation, we also face a lot of difficulties and problems. And one of the difficulties we face is when you give the power to a team, decision making power, it's a little bit slows down the process, because then they need to meet a lot, they need to interact a lot, they need to communicate a lot. And during these interactions, communications, and meetings, first thing is that it's being late. The second thing is sometimes it is lose of a time. So we said they need a kind of a digital tool that everything starts from a proposal, from a decision point. You communicate around that decision as a ticket, and in 2 3 days, because there's a time limit in that app, and you finish it and you continue on action. So it's all about being agile. Decide, act, decide, act.
It's interesting. There's a TED talk. I'll put it in the link. An Israeli called Lior Tzoref. He was invited to do a TED talk about crowdsourcing, and he said, "I want to
Wow.
show." He said, "I want." I think it was 2017, I think, and he said, "I want to show something." And he said, "Whatever you want." And he said, "No, you don't understand. In order to show it, I need to bring an ox on
Okay.
stage." And they said, "Yeah, okay." And he's the first person on TED that brought an ox and put it on stage, and people had to guess the weight.
Okay.
That was like a bull, yeah, an ox.
Okay.
Um,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and they got it wrong by half a kilo.
Wow. Yeah. I
So
also
the
had that.
crowdsourcing power is so big,
Yeah.
but it needs a
They
certain
call it
amount
the
of.
wisdom
It
of
needs
crowd.
a number in order. So 10 people is not enough. 100 is not enough, and so on. I have for our audience. I have two quick questions. I need quick replies from you that I
Yes.
think
Sure.
the
Sure.
audience would like. One,
I'm
um,
single.
yeah, no, no, that we put it that in another post. It's another podcast
Okay.
I'm doing. I'll talk to you about it later. One question I have is, you decide to do agile, you call your team at the time, a few dozen people, you tell them this concept. That talk went well or not?
No, it wasn't went well. In most of them, it didn't. It didn't go well. Some of them, very few of them, yes. You are. It's a very great question, because for the people, Nir, it is not easy to take responsibilities, because when you want to give someone to his own freedom, it's so weird that our culture, unfortunately, especially in this part of geography, in this world, when you say the freedom, no, 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 I don't want freedom. I'm okay with the bosses. So it's so, I was so surprised, but you are very much right, because we've been, seeing that in our families, in our schools, in our companies, that when you are so used to that, not having the freedom and having someone to tell you what to do, actually it's also a great area, great comfort zone, that you don't need to take any decision. You just say, okay, Nir told me to do that, so it's Nir's problem. And when you tell them it's your freedom, come on, it's a full freedom. In our company, the people can come to work anytime they want. They can leave the work anytime they want. They can take a day off anytime they want. They don't have to take whatever they want. So it's a kind of a full freedom that everyone thinks they want, but it doesn't work like that, because you say responsibility. Freedom comes with responsibility. You have all this freedom, but you are responsible with the results, and we don't give you any target. Just do it. That's big. Just like making them an entrepreneur, and not everybody is ready to become an entrepreneur.
I think most people don't want freedom. They want to be able to say they want freedom, because when they give them, they don't know what to do with it. Many people I know say, "Oh, I want to be an entrepreneur." I said, "Amazing. Why?" And they said, "I want to be at the beach at midday And I said, I don't
Yeah.
beach. And you can probably see the beach somewhere here in Tel Aviv, but they want to be at the beach. Here's another question that I think
I was
people
in
will
Tel
be.
Aviv's beach last week. I was
It's
there.
good.
Was
Uh,
good. Was good.
so my other question about this, I probably have a million, but I think the audience would be interested. For most people, it is very scary to be transparent with employee staff with
Wow.
numbers.
Yeah, that's very good point also. I mean, if they are hiding something, yeah, self-management or agile is not for them. If they really hide something, because if you want to run the company and if you want to run with the teams and if you want to go to beach, you got to be radically transparent because you cannot give someone power of decision without the information, without the data. So you got to be radically transparent with everything. And if you are hiding something that you don't want to share, then it's not your system. Because thanks God, I say thanks God because I have this great emotions in me that I love to share and I don't hide anything and I don't create this company to make only myself rich. So that wasn't my target. But if an entrepreneur, if a business owner is only target is to make him or herself to be rich, so then this system is not for them. But it's very interesting. As much as I become radically transparent and want to share, I become more rich, a lot more rich. So it's kind of, the universe works like this. Never proceed for money. Pursue for excellence, money will follow you. And it's really working like that. I am so much willing to share. I am okay with to become together. Let's grow together. And as much as I do that, myself is getting, you know, financially,
And
physically, or
so
in any
here's a
case,
question.
it's better. Yeah.
I'm a partner. I'm a partner in several bars in Tel Aviv, which is always interesting. The nightlife in Israel is a very unique industry. We all know each other. We
Okay.
work together. Some of us are partners. That our partners are partners with our competitors. Okay, like very strange
Uh,
ecosystem. Everybody kind of know who's making what. How do you deal with like industry espionage with an employee telling that numbers to someone else, they knowing how much margin, what are the contracts? How do you deal with that? Is that something you sign with them or you hope? How do you do that?
no, 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 no. I don't sign anything and I don't hope anything because again, I don't have anything to hide. Yes, Latro is a profitable company because we give great value against the value we're taking back. So they are more than welcome to go to customer and tell, hey company, we are making 30% margin from you, 40% margin from you, because we are not cheating anyone, we are not ripping anyone. We just getting the high value against the value we bring to them. So it's coming to the same question. If you are not hiding anything, why not? So I don't charge or Latro doesn't charge people with 200% margin or I don't know profit with the shit. We give things. We try to, because it's an ecosystem. And in our ecosystem, customers are also there. Suppliers are also there. So when we think about something, we think the benefit of whole ecosystem. That's why again it's coming to the sharing. We gotta share the value with our customers, with our people, with our suppliers, with everyone in our ecosystem. That's kind of a mindset we need to go. And when you are in that mindset, again, you win. So I'm not saying that you're giving away. I'm saying why so completely on opposite side. When you do that, you win. You make a lot of money.
What I'm hearing is you have a mindset that allows you to win rather than focusing on the win itself. And what I'm hearing is if you play as part of the ecosystem and you understand that you're not single in this, you're not a single unit, you're a part of the ecosystem, and
Yeah.
your sense of purpose, value, and so on is always connected, you will actually be beneficial for yourself and your employees.
Exactly. And again, that's not the target, but it's happening that way. That's what I see. So you don't target to benefit yourself. You don't target for the only profit,
But that
but
would be
that's
the
that's
outcome.
the that's the, the,
The
the, the
winning will
outcome.
be
I
the
mean,
outcome.
Yeah, yeah. So I am even surprised sometimes the outcome. And again, by the way, like we are making big mistakes. Just these days we made a big mistake. Now we are sitting on a very big amount of stock because we made a mistake. But it's okay. I mean, I never had 1 second of a regret that why I wasn't there. That with this high amount of stock, I could manage it. No way, because the company will learn from its mistakes and they are doing 90% great things. They are very well, more than welcome to do 10% of, mistakes. No problem. They do great things.
I heard a podcast last week. I was walking the street of Athens and I'm sweating, and I was like, I'll take a cab. No, no. And I was enjoying this podcast. The guest they had said that one of his purposes, he has 8 businesses, and one of his purposes is to make all his partners slash managers help them become millionaires
Wow,
to the point
that's
that they
great.
have a good life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes, I'm living in this area, which is the forest and quite a quite a good area. So sometimes the people that I'm working with, when I invite them for a walk, and during this walk, I do the same speech. I'm telling them my target is to have all of you as my neighbors here. So let's just look for a house to you. It's very simple. I want to make this platform, able to serve a lot of people. So already I have given up like some percentage of my shares to with the company, and I will continue because I want to be a small shareholder with a huge, big, platform that also brings value to everyone else.
I have a personal growth question for you.
Yeah.
We read a lot and we're really interested and we're eager in learning and the thirst for learning, as we say in EO, and we travel a lot and so on.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this book changed my life. Do you
Yes.
believe that everyone can find that one book that will change their life?
No, not really. I mean, yes, it will really bring a lot of questions to them, and many of them. It will, ring some bells, but no, because I was ready. I was already get sick of these positions. Latro never had a very hierarchical system. I was never acting like a boss even before. I always hated that thing. So I was ready. So when I read the book, even before starting this transformation, I closed my room. I had a big room with great table. I closed it. It became a meeting room. And I always give this example. I freed myself because I was kind of feeling that, okay, I'm running this business. Okay, there is a good amount of money is going around, and everybody is coming to me, Mr. Hur, Mr. Hur. So I am, pumping my ego, but at the same time, I am in a prison because ego is a prison. Being responsible for every decision is a prison. So I was sitting in my room, is this luxury, fancy room, but it's a prison because I, all the I was feeling all the pressure on my shoulders. I had sleepless nights. I was responsible for what's gonna be the salary increase this year. How is the company going? Are we gonna be profitable? Whatever, all these things. But now I feel a lot more, free because now they all are carrying the same thing, and this year they're gonna make their own salary increase. So it's now their platform. I'm just part of it, and it's kind of great thing because when I become more free, then I'm more useful to company because I was in operations mostly or taking these difficult decisions with sleepless nights, and I wasn't creative or innovative enough. Today, I can create a lot of new projects, new things to them. So now Latro is having a lot more benefit from me with this free version of Haluk, with this, innovative version of Haluk, creative version of Haluk. Haluk who has time to go out and seek for any other opportunities and bringing them to company. So I was ready. So I don't know, like, and this software came out from that. You know, when you start to believe in something, the values are coming without your expectations. That is the journey, just like sailing.
I love how you love connecting that to something on water. I love that. We're recording this early July 2022, and the reason why I'm saying this is because Turkey has known a lot of ups and downs when it comes to inflation, and the world is changing quite rapidly. I believe we're in a beginning of something very big. That's my opinion. How do you, as an owner of a big business, deal with this uncertainty in Turkey with the inflation? What could you teach us as we're
Yeah.
moving to something like that around the world?
Actually, Nair, what I have been explaining in this self-management, in this teams management, in this agile management, in this decentralized decision making, that is the key for instability. Because it's not about Turkey, by the way. Now the whole world has started to feel about this inflation, wars, viruses. They, we are gonna be in new era, which is the instability will be the key word. So, you know, we all talk about the fast change, the change of the speed of change. This is what we are seeing. And I'm not only talking about the negative changes, so not only viruses or political issues or wars, positive changes. The way how we used to operate is changing. The way how we were looking at things are changing. Internet is changing. Blockchain is coming. Metaverse may do something. So positively or negatively, it's going to be like this. How are you going to survive? Simple. You need to divide into this. You need to, your decisions has to be divided into the people on each of them, so that you can move like a jellyfish. I don't know if you ever seen the jellyfish. So you can, with all these different currents coming to you, all these changes coming to you, you gotta move like no, just like a very agile and jellyfish. And in order to do that, you gotta either be, you know, very decentralized management, or you gotta have something that nobody has of.
Yeah,
You
great.
know,
I love the
yeah.
concept. Then how do you not panic when you sold something 90 days later, when you get the money, it's 10%
Yeah.
less, profit is gone. How do you deal with this uncertainty on a personal level?
Yeah, on personal level, it is difficult. Yes, I am worried, but on the other side, I say if we cannot survive as Latro, I'm quite sure the whole country will collapse. So we're gonna be the one of the last one. It's not because we are financially the best position, but it's because we are reacting very fastly. So yes, 3 months later, we don't know what's gonna happen. But what I know is the team will show a quick response on the things gonna happen. So just like a very small example, last year in October, I think if I'm not mistaken, it happens a lot, so I also confuse the dates. In 1 week, maybe the euro dollar against Turkish lira has the Turkish lira has devaluated against euro dollar more than 50-60% in a couple of just weeks with a big change. So we made a meeting. I made a meeting. It was 8:30 in the morning, a couple of weeks later. And I asked everyone, the meeting will be 8:30 to 8:45. So everybody was like surprised. Wow, what the hell? 15 minutes? This big crisis? Yes. I opened the Zoom. It was the Zoom because all this COVID and everything. And I said, guys, you've been training for this. You have the decision making power. You know your customers. You know your margins, profits. You have been training on finance, the reading to finance. You know the products, where it comes from. Make your decisions. Just be careful because there is this fluctuation in exchange rate. But just make your decisions. See you. Bye. So it was the best crisis I ever been go through in my life, because the decisions being made case by case by individuals. And when you make those decisions centrally, you just can survive, not grow. We grew in that crisis. Survive means if I was making the decision, I would say, okay, guys, we are not giving any product anymore if someone pays in Turkish lira. Only the US dollar bringers we will give the product. Or another decision. we will not give to any company who pays more than 15 days. These are the decisions that you usually take, and these are just survives you, not grows you. But what they did, they see there's this big fluctuation, devaluation of the Turkish lira, which is amazing for the exporters. So they check if their customer is exporter, instead of pushing him, they told him, okay, instead of 60 days, you pay us 90 days. No, 120 days. So instead of increasing your price, we are decreasing your price. Because they found that companies, as being an exporter, they are fucking growing. I'm sorry to use that word. I don't know if you use these words in your channels.
My book is
But
called "Fuck the Slides," so I don't know what to tell you.
okay, yeah, okay. So it's like they decide case by case in very deep level. That's how the company becomes like a jellyfish. So on each decision are going to be done at the point, not centrally. So yes, I am worried, but I know they're going to go through it.
I have a feeling that you and I will have to do another big session about this concept and dive a little bit more. As we're wrapping up, first of all, I want to say a huge thank you. I think it was very interesting for me to hear a little bit more in depth about how you think about things, and it definitely opened my eyes to some things. If people want to reach out to you, what they can, how they can find you, social media, you
Uh,
have to send
yes,
us to somewhere.
yes. Where should I send it? I can send to Instagram, LinkedIn, everything. Yes,
So
it is there.
I'll add
Email.
LinkedIn. I'll add LinkedIn for the ones that are relevant. We'll send you to Instagram. And what is the website of the company?
Which one? The Latro one is Latro. Latro. That's the company name. .com.tr. TR is Turkey. Yeah.
Very nice.
.com.tr. Yeah.
I want any last words? Something you want to share with us before we wrap up?
No, thank you very much, Nir. I mean, I'm so much pleased to talk with you because I love to express this idea to all over the world. Because for the future, this is my personal purpose. For the future, I believe we only have one solution to all of our problems in the world, which is a collective approach, a collective mindset. So if we approach to all of our problems collectively, like 8 billion people, if we understand we are people, we are the same, regardless of our religion, regardless of our nationality, regardless of our sexes, anything, if we believe we are in the same world and we need to solve our problems collectively, not centralize, then I think we will come to amazing solutions very quickly. Otherwise, with the centralized government, centralized politics, centralized huge big companies, big bosses, big CEOs, it's gonna be difficult.
I feel I need to say amen for the after that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna say thank you very much to everyone that just watched or listened. I hope you enjoyed another episode of Europreneur with Haluk. I want to say thank you to everyone who's been listening and sending messages. We really appreciate it. Keep pushing. If you're building a business, go to our website eoeurope.com, and trust me, there's so much information. I go there and keep learning. Have a great day. I'm Neil Zavar, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you, everyone.